As of today, Black Panther has grossed over $709 million worldwide, making it the highest grossing film of 2018.
Wakanda!
We at Cool Nerds Unite proudly present to you Black Panther, Welcome to Wakanda, episodes 1 and 2. This is Cool Nerds Unite. I'm Roderick.
And I'm Justin.
And yes, it's that time, ladies and gentlemen. Black Panther is in the movie theaters as we speak.
Totally worth all the hype.
What you think, Justin?
Oh my gosh. If this is not it's probably, if not the best Marvel film, it's one of the best. No, it's probably the best Marvel film to come out.
I agree with you, my friend.
Yeah.
On so many levels.
And even if you remove, because there is a lot of social commentary that this film is doing that speaks on a lot of amazing things that need to be talked about, even if you remove that, it is still on its own a fantastic film. Great cinematography, great soundtrack, great acting, writing, you name it.
Oh, yes, the film has it all. I am so glad that Stan Lee thought of the character. Mm-hmm. Back in the 60s, Stan Lee came up with the idea during the Black Panther movement that it would be nice to incorporate the Black Panther movement with one character. And what he did with that one character, he fused the idea with the Black Panther along with Batman because he always liked Batman. And he said it would be a very good idea to fuse those two entities together and make one character that had the computer, intellectual, and financial savvy as Bruce Wayne, and have the name Black Panther incorporated with that one character. And it has made a profound effect.
Very
man.
profound.
So what you think about the movie?
So I don't know that much about Black Panther. I never read the comics. I know you did. I just love the Marvel Universe. But what I liked about this film is you could have gone in and not even know that much about the Marvel Universe.
Exactly.
And the movie started out with giving you enough context, not too much, but enough exposition to where you were invested in the characters and you knew enough about their background to where you could stay along for the ride and enjoy it to its fullest.
I agree with you. Yeah. I mean, it has something in there for everyone. And I love the fact that one of the scenes that really caught my attention, I mean, from the very first 5 minutes into the movie, where there's action, but there's also a very strong storyline.
Yes.
And it leads up to where T'Challa meets up with Nakia.
Yes, Nakia. Spoiler alerts, by the way. Spoiler alerts.
Plenty of spoiler alerts. We do have plenty of those, but stay along for the ride. I mean, those scenes were so profound. I mean, even the cinematography was very beautiful, man. But the scene that really captured my attention is when T'Challa, the Black Panther, has a spiritual experience, and he comes across his father.
All right, this was right after he becomes the ritual of him becoming the Black Panther.
Right.
And goes to the ancestral plane, and
oh man, that was so profound. And in essence, he wanted to know what to do.
Right.
He asked his father what to do, and he needed advice. And so I started relating to that as to when I was a kid. And I mean, not even as a kid or a child, but as a grown man. I don't want to sound too personal, but I asked that question, what to do. If my father was here, what would he suggest that I do? And I feel like a lot of the mistakes that I made in my life, I would have been able to avoid if my father was here. My mother did an excellent job, I think. I don't want to sound arrogant, but I think she did an excellent job. But, I feel like that's a part of me that's missing.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's a part of your identity of who you are.
Yes, exactly. So the storyline was great. We both agree on that.
Oh, yeah.
The music. What you think about the music?
Kendrick Lamar can't do anything wrong, it seems. Got The Weeknd in there. And
oh, wow, man. It was great.
It was, as soon as there's this shot of all the technology flying around the city or the country of Wakanda.
Yes.
And you hear that song pumping in the background and you feel it. It kind of had some Tron vibes going on too, just seeing all that technology with this great soundtrack.
Way to go, Disney.
Yeah. yeah. There's that Disney connection there. But yeah, speaking of the Disney connections, I also noticed, and we talked about this earlier, a lot of Lion King similarities too.
Oh, yes, it was. But it does surpass the Lion King on so many levels. But I couldn't help but to feel like a Lion King vibe as well. I'm like, okay.
Like with the scene when Simba meets Mufasa had some similarities with T'Challa and T'Chaka meeting.
Yeah, T'Challa and T'Chaka. And you know what? As all the listeners know, Amber does not like the Lion King.
Yeah, so that's going to be coming in part 2. Unfortunately, we had a couple of in absences today, absences today. So
yeah, everyone else is on their vacation, so we are here, and we're gonna continue to talk about Black Panther.
Yes,
and it's it's a profound movie, very profound. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a part 2.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
there's especially with the amount of, I hate to say this, but studio companies got to make their money, and if they see dollar signs, they're gonna milk it.
Oh yeah,
just
that
like
is
Star
true.
Wars and just like Lord of the Rings.
They
would be fools not to make a second installment of this film.
Yeah, and you know what? I truly believe there's so much story there that needs to be told.
Right.
Yeah, even the love story between Nakia and T'Challa, it's a background story there.
And if that was there was only maybe one criticism, and this probably isn't even a criticism, I thought it was a little bit corny, the whole, did he freeze at the beginning when they first meet up? It's like, oh yeah, he froze. And I'm like, wait, what is this going on here?
I kind of liked it.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny. It kind of lightened the mood because, it kind of brought in a little comedy, and it had a little balance of comedy, romance, of course, action. It wasn't that much of cheese in the movie.
Yeah, all the comedy was well placed. There's an action scene in the car chase when one of the cars gets completely destroyed, and everything is destroyed in the car except she's holding the steering wheel and she's sitting down and sliding down the road.
I thought that was cool too. And Shuri, T'Challa's sister, is very, very intelligent, very charismatic, as well as the scientists of the family.
She's like the equivalent of Alfred to Batman.
And I like the chemistry between them, in the movie. It was really good. I enjoyed it. I think everyone, even from the antagonist, which was Eric Killmonger, Michael B. Jordan. I think he even brought his A game to it.
So would you consider Michael B. Jordan's character with, because I'm not sure if he's a villain or more of an anti-hero, because his motivations from his point of view do make sense, and that's like the great villains, the good ones. They're not just being evil for the sake of being evil. They have a kind of twisted moral background to why they're doing what they're doing.
And with his character, he got a lot of, which I've said on previous podcast episodes, is that he got his idea from cross between Heath Ledger's Joker and character Magneto. He fused those two together to come up with that persona of Eric Killmonger. I thought that was really well played. I think he did a great job.
I can definitely see it with Magneto, because Magneto's whole idea with the X-Men was the mutants need to be treated with the same respect by any means necessary, which of course goes back to the whole Malcolm X, by any means necessary. And Killmonger was, we need to be treated by any means necessary, whereas T'Challa was more, we just need to protect Wakanda.
Exactly. And that's something you brought that up, because you know what? Stan Lee, I remember hearing an interview that Stan Lee did with one of the news reporters, and he said that he got the idea from Magneto because of Malcolm X.
Right.
And Professor X was like Martin Luther King.
Yep.
So I said, oh, wow, okay. I can see that, because they both respected each other, but they had different
approaches.
Different approaches to their cause. So,
and of course, that cause, this is February. It is Black History Month, which is definitely that was intentional with the release during this month. And
Yeah, and it's, I think with this movie, going back to it, of course, I really feel like it's going to open the door to a lot of things with the social issues that plague us all, on one level or another. And the movie spoke to every level possible that everyone could relate to. It was amazing to see yesterday.
Oh, wow.
Man, there was so many people in the movie theater. It was, wow. It kind of got to me, man,
right.
Because I never seen that many people in one theater all at one time, and it seemed like it was like a spirit of unity, if you will.
Absolutely.
I know it sounds a little dramatic, but I really felt it.
The thing that got me the most was just a little bit of context for all of you listeners today. It is today's Sunday, and there were previews on Thursday, but the movie officially came out on Friday.
Yeah.
And so you saw it yesterday on Saturday, correct?
Yeah, it was. Okay. Yeah, it was at 12:30. I got to the movie theater early, of course. I went in thinking like, oh, it's not going to be that many people there. Man, I was shocked. And so I had a few people, said to me,
a lot of people dress up.
Yeah, it was a lot of people that dressed up, but it was weird because it was a few people that were upset with me, man, because I walked through and I didn't have to stand on it because I already got my ticket. Oh, what? Why is he walking through? I'm like, okay, mind your business. I got my ticket. You're gonna get there. You get your seat. Wait a minute.
We're going to the same place, same time. It's not going to start till the.
Yeah, man. I mean, it was a wonderful experience, though. And I remember receiving a text from you.
Oh, yeah.
Man, tell us a little bit more about that. So I'm pretty sure the listening audience want to hear about that.
So this was my experience with seeing Black Panther. And I wanted to see it. My girlfriend really wanted to see it. Yeah. And so I got out of work work late in the afternoons. Got out of work.
As usual.
Yep. Think it around 10:15, 10:20.
Yeah.
Look up some times, see if it's still showing late night. Of course it is. It's the day it comes out. Super popular movie. Find a close movie theater. We drive to this theater, and it's an AMC that we first drive to.
AMC is good.
Yeah.
I like that.
And
I like that.
So I'm thinking, I haven't been to the movies in a while, let alone on an opening day for a film. And the only times I've experienced sold out films is, of course, for like a midnight screening, which I've only done for the Harry Potter films and Lord of the Rings. And
Lord of the Rings.
Also Star Wars.
Good stuff.
Those are those are the fun midnight premieres. Everyone dresses up.
Yeah.
And also, this wasn't a midnight premiere. This was 11:30 p.m. the day after the midnight premiere.
Oh, yeah.
Show up at AMC. Everyone's leaving the theater. Everyone looks happy. They're smiling. There's like that sense of unity you were talking about. Get up to the ticket teller. She's like, "You're here for Black Panther?" Like, "Yep." She's like, "Yep. We've been sold out since 2 p.m. and it's sold out till Monday."
Oh, my God.
So I'm thinking,
you serious?
Yeah, till Monday. So, yeah, get there. Yeah, Friday night, finding out it's sold out till Monday.
Oh my God.
So we pull up the list on our smartphones, just trying to figure, okay, what's the other movie? What's the next good option? And we find an Imagine. My girlfriend calls, says, "Hey, do you have any tickets available for this?" "Yep, we do." It's like, "Can we buy them?" "Nope, you have to buy them in person." So I've done something I've never done before.
Wow.
Used an online ticketing purchase website. Was great because we could actually pick out the seats that were open, see which ones were open, and I pull it up and there's only maybe half a dozen seats or so left.
Wow.
Pick the last two that are actually right next to each other so we can sit together, and all the rest of the seats are just one single seats all sporadically spaced out. Get to the movie theater, have them scan my tickets on my phone or scan the QR code so I can get my tickets printed. And I'm talking to the ticket counter guy. I'm like, "So did the show sell out?" He's like, "Yeah, it's sold out. It's sold out."
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, if you could see Gavin Soundlord, his expression in his face is priceless at this particular juncture.
So if we
I'm barely keeping it together. I'm holding on. It was a really wild ride there. I know.
Yeah.
I'm just glad that you made it here.
It was a wild ride driving to that movie theater in case I couldn't get the online tickets on time. But we made it, and I purchased those tickets right in the nick of time because if we just would have driven there praying, it would have been sold out.
Man. And you know what? When I woke up during the night and I received that text from, I couldn't help but to laugh because I was like, okay, for Justin to text me, it was like one of those monumental type of deals there. You know, I was like one of those monumental moments. I was like, okay.
Yeah, because I was so excited about the film. I had to share with someone.
Yeah.
And of course,
that made me feel good, man.
I'm glad, yeah.
Yeah, that made me really excited to go and see it. Been excited for years, you know, ever since I heard about it, you know, rumored that Wesley Snipes was tied to the character for many years. And then, you know, that kind of fell off.
Right. And of course, like, he made Blade.
Yeah, Blade. But you let him tell it, which I believe it. It was kind of one of those movies that kind of opened the door for Black Panther. And I would like to see him revise that role as Blade.
And also Spawn.
Oh, Spawn was great, man. With Michael Jai White, it was really good. But with Black Panther, it just resonated with a lot of people on so many levels, man. And
also the amount of support that Marvel gave this film, it's really unprecedented.
Yeah, it is. I really think with Marvel and Disney merging together, at first I was a little apprehensive. You know, I had some times I was a little worried about it because I didn't want to see Wolverine being replaced with Mickey Mouse with some spoons in his hands instead of adamantium claws. Yeah. Nothing against Mickey Mouse.
Safety scissors.
Yeah, safety scissors. Can you just imagine that?
Yeah.
That's crazy. What about you, Sound Lord? What you think?
It's scary when Disney does anything.
Oh my God.
Well, just to give the audience some more emotional context about comparisons to how I felt about this film.
Yeah.
After I saw, of course, we do have a Star Wars episode coming up, so we will be talking about the Star Wars.
May the Force
soon.
be with you.
But
got a little theme music here.
Yeah.
From the movie, no doubt.
Yeah. The Weeknd. Really. Oh, sorry. Back to the. Yeah. So. After I saw the most recent Star Wars film, The Last Jedi, I remember I was hanging out with some friends afterwards, and I completely forgot that I just saw a Star Wars film in theaters.
Really?
But, yeah, so just a little bit of a taste of how I felt about that film. I forgot I had just seen a Star Wars movie. That's how underwhelming it was.
Very underwhelming.
But when it came to Black Panther, I could not stop thinking about how great it was and how many different subtleties and the cinematography and the acting and the story and just how great of a movie it was.
It is so profound that, you know, I can help but I did my job, of course, as usual, but I had that on my mind throughout the whole day, man. I was so very excited to do the podcast. I'm like, hey, Justin, we still doing the podcast, right? Justin, you looked at me. Yeah.
So just to talk about some more of these subtleties and the cinematography and so of course there's not just the scene when it's T'Challa when he becomes king. There's the talk of that he has with his dad, but then when Killmonger becomes spoiler alert.
Yeah.
He challenges T'Challa and he loses, and then Killmonger then becomes the king, even though he's still alive. You find out, so he never yielded. So technically, he becomes king, but he's not really king.
Yeah.
But he has to go through the rituals, and he runs into his father.
Yeah.
And instead of being in the same ancestral plane where it's the gorgeous tree and all the kings as panthers, he sees the apartment where his father was murdered.
Yeah.
By T'Chaka. And he's a child in that scene, and he gets to have this really heartwarming scene, even though it does have a lot of moral weight on it because he's going about this in such a different way that might not necessarily be what's best for the world.
Yeah, and the outcome isn't that good.
And within this conversation he has with his father, his father says, like, you have no tears for me. Like,
wow, yeah.
And he's like,
profound right there, dude.
And he's just like, you can definitely sense like there's still this coldness in his heart. But then in the next scene, he does have tears, and he's no longer a child, but he's an adult.
Yeah.
And so there's just that symbolism of you can still be a grown man and have those emotions.
Yeah.
And it was when he was repressing those emotions, he was still a child.
I got the same thing, man.
Yeah.
I got the same thing from that particular scene. I interpreted it the same way. And that scene was profound, too. And it made me think. I was like, man, so his heart wasn't right.
Right.
You know, in his mind, he really felt that he was doing the right thing, but in essence, he wasn't. And wow, man, it was just so profound. And the love story between T'Challa and Nakia was very profound. You could feel the chemistry between them, and
it didn't come off as like too cheesy.
Yeah,
it wasn't like the
normal comic book movie cheese. Yeah,
don't have any upside down Spider-Man kisses.
I kind of like that idea. I'm kind of reenact that with my girlfriend eventually. Okay, too much information out there. No freeze here. No freeze.
Oh, man.
Yeah, there's so much to talk about the movie. That's why we're going to do a part 2.
Yeah, part 2. And
oh,
and Angela Bassett.
Yeah.
Someone needs to find out where she's hiding the Fountain of Youth.
I'm pretty sure her husband is very happy.
Yeah.
I mean, on so many levels, not just on one level.
It's like not only did Stella get her groove back, but she kept it.
Oh. Oh, that was a good one, man. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Snappy wappy.
Wow, we're having way too much fun.
Breathtaking, man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And you know what? We also talked about earlier how if they would have chose her for Storm for the X-Men series, she's Storm.
Yeah, I'll be honest.
In the series, she had the,
I'm not the biggest fan.
The whole persona. You know, even when you see her do interviews, it's like, wow, that's Storm.
Yeah.
And even in the movie Black Panther, she has the gray hair. And when I first saw the trailer, I'm like, oh, wow, is she Storm?
Yeah. Now, this might be a bit controversial, but to be honest,
Go ahead.
I don't really care for Halle Berry. At least as Halle Berry as Storm. It was... I know.
No.
I know that might put me in a bit of a minority. I know I just wasn't the biggest Halle Berry fan.
I guess that puts me in the same category too, because I've always felt that way. I've always respected her as an actress.
Like Swordfish is great.
Yeah, and Losing Isaiah.
Yeah.
But I really always felt that she was miscast as Storm. I could see her as Vixen, for DC Comics movie adaptation of that character. But, man, not for Storm. But nevertheless, man, Black Panther.
Yeah.
Oh, man, can I say that enough?
Yeah.
So what do you think about the connection between the Black Panther movie, which we both love, and the Avengers Infinity War movie?
If there's anything that might not be good about it, it's the fact that Black Panther might overshadow how good it is. So Infinity War has a lot to
offer, man.
Yeah.
It's going to be so many characters. From what I read, it's going to be a total of 18 characters. So how are
they doing the budget on this?
How are they going to do that? I mean, from what I hear in the interview, the Russo brothers have maintained to juggle each character that they have enough screen time.
Yeah.
But in essence, they got to do a part 2 to it.
Right.
It's like we got to do a part 2 to the podcast.
Right. And they have to do a part 2 to Black Panther.
Yeah.
Because there's so much that, even though it was wrapped up at the end, with also at the end, if you haven't, well, we're hoping you've seen it because with all these spoilers,
by the time the podcast is aired, they will.
Yeah. But there's 2 after credit scenes.
Oh man, let's talk about that.
Yes. So of course the first one is where T'Challa goes to the UN, and it's kind of like has that I am Iron Man scene with the press conference.
It did get that feeling though.
Where it's him saying, "Hey, we're no longer going to be isolated. We want to share our technology, and we want to share what we have with the rest of the world. It's important." Which even that was a big thing socially that speaks to what's going on today. Is we don't need to be building walls. We need to be building bridges.
Exactly. Connect.
Yes.
We're all working together.
We are all one.
And all one. Yeah. I mean, that was so profound to me. And number 2.
Yes, Bucky.
Yeah, Bucky, bring on the Winter Soldier.
And of course, in the part 2 of our podcast, I'm sure Amber will have a lot.
Oh yeah.
And she hasn't even seen it yet as we're speaking. She hasn't seen Black Panther yet.
So maybe it's a good thing she's not part of this particular podcast. But nevertheless, she will be part of part 2 along with Celeste.
Yes.
Yeah, so man, so much to talk about. Even with Ulysses Claw character. Are you surprised at how good his character turned out to be?
Yeah, especially because I'm used to Andy Serkis as Gollum, and it's not really
Precious.
Yes. My precious friend. So we're not used to seeing Andy Serkis as, in the flesh. We're used to seeing him as like a CGI.
Yeah. He's a good actor, man.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, he gave me the creeps too, man, at the same time. I mean, even though his screen time wasn't that long, but he made an impact as well. I mean, it was so many different characters, like Zuri, a character played by Forrest Whitaker. His character wasn't in the movie that long, but it was very profound.
Right.
It was, man, oh, wow. So we're going to wrap up this particular segment, and we're gonna give it to our good friend, Justin.
Well, wrap it up. I'm wrapping everything up.
Yes.
All right, folks. Well, next week we're going to have Black Panther Part 2.
Yes.
I will not be here for that, unfortunately. I did pick up some overtime. I do apologize, but I will be here afterwards when we're talking about our favorite soundtracks, with music being my background. We're all very excited for that. And we also have, after that, Star Wars, which...
May the Force be with us.
Yes.
And you.
Of course, we have the Star Wars exhibit coming up at the DIA.
Yeah.
And it's such a huge universe that there's so much to tackle. There's so many good things, so many not so good things.
Yeah.
But still, we love it. It's something we all grew up with.
Yeah, it's a great sense of nostalgia for me, man.
Yes.
It's my childhood, actually. So it's very important that we get this right and that the public really appreciate it. Because I definitely am having a great time being a part of it, because I'm on the Star Wars committee and really working diligently to make sure this exhibition is a success.
Right. And there's so much expectation and so much hype that
we really
don't want to let any of the public down as far as that goes. And so many people know so much about Star Wars. It's not like when you get an exhibition with Monet or Church where it's only the academics. This is something that everyone has their knowledge about it.
Yeah. So it's important. It's very imperative that you get it right. And within saying that, thank you for tuning in today, listening to our podcast, Cool Nerds Unite. Please like us. Don't hate us. Please like us, subscribe, and don't forget, stay nerdy.
We interrupt this broadcast to bring you... It's a bird! It's a plane!
The Force will be with you. The Force will be with you.